Hey everybody, we have a 2009 Chevy Malibu, and the customer's complaint was that the fuel pump wasn't working. So the other day I came and changed out the fuel pump, but it still wasn't working. So I helped him out, started probing for a voltage. There was no voltage. Well, the fuel pump fuse was fine, the relay was fine, and that's all there in the trunk. But then when I found out there was no voltage there, I found this fuse blown. That's a 60 amp fuse, so that means that's pretty high amperage. It's not like all these other 10 amps or 15 amps. So my first thing was I started thinking, well, shit, well, what if it's somewhere down in here where the loom goes down and down into the car? So couldn't figure it out. So then I came over here. Now this is the fuse box here in the back. It mounts there on these little holes and stuff. Probably can't see it. So well, like I said, there was no voltage coming back here, so the trunk wouldn't open, the fuel pump wouldn't turn on, and a few other things. And so the way I started was I took this fuse box off because obviously there's no voltage coming over here, and the fuse keeps popping in the front. So I started here. I can't remember which wire was it. It was one of these wires back here that feeds the fuel pump, but that wasn't the issue. So I figured a 60 amp fuse has to be a pretty fat wire. Anything high in amperage, you're gonna see like these fat wires, like this one here. This one's pretty decent. This one right here. None of these little bitty ones, because those will take like 10 amps, 15 amps, 5 amp fuses. So I'm thinking 60 amp fuse. It has to be a thick wire, right? But they got like 3 or 4 of them. How the hell do I pick which one? So what I started doing, well, let me back over here. I took off the cover, this cover here. How it, pretty much lines it all up in here. So come over here, take it all off so I can find out where the loom goes through. Well, the loom is the big fat chunk of wires that are all taped up together, and I see the holes in the body. So my first thought is wherever there's a hole and wire runs through it, it likes to rub, and that's how you start blowing fuses. So I went to that side first, put down the back seat, and then I had to take off. Where is it at? This extra little cushion that goes right here. Pretty much. Oh, yeah, that one's right down there. Looks like that over there, but it goes right here. So that's when I found this loom. And right away, as soon as I moved this, picked back here, I automatically saw this grommet was already all torn up. See how it's all discombobulated, or you know. So right away, when I peeked my head in, let's see if I can focus. I don't think the camera's gonna focus. But I know you can't really see it, but right here is the little mark. Oh man, I wish you guys can see. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of narrowed it down, right? But how do I know if that's the same wire that's blowing the fuse over there? So right away, because that one's not so bad. I don't even see that little divot right in there. So what I did, I take my probing tool here. This is for electrical probing. And I try to stick it right over the same exposed wire, right? So I don't want to poke any other hoses that don't need to be there. I come over here. There you go. We got voltage. So I said, okay, this is how I'm gonna find out if that's the wire, the fuse, or the fuse that powers that wire. So where am I at? Maybe you can still hear the 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 power probe. So what I did, let me see if I can do it with one hand here. I start removing the fuse. I can still hear the power probe speaker, and now it's off. So I pulled the fuse, the 60 amp. I don't know if you can see it. Man, this phone is not focusing. And now you have no signal, or barely anything. Come back over here. There you go. And that is how you find a short to ground, or one way to find a short to ground. So now what I'm going to do, I really don't, the wire isn't cut, it isn't busted. There's really nothing wrong with it, just installation issues. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit of a liquid electrical tape and let it dry a little bit. I'll even wrap some more electrical tape around it because there's nothing really wrong with the wire itself. I don't want to damage it if I don't have to. So instead of cutting it and soldering it, causing more damage, I just put a little bit of liquid electrical tape, pretty much like a patch, tape it up for better assurance, and he'll be on his way. The fuse shouldn't blow anymore. I'll tape up the rest of the loom so it doesn't tear back here anymore. And hopefully the customer doesn't have no more complaints.